All right, what's going on, everybody? Today is August 26th, and today is episode number 3 of This Week in the Markets. You're here with Philip Anglade, and what we're going to do is we're going to start out with the DXY, and from there, we'll go into gold and how the DXY matches up with gold, and then from that, we'll go into EU, GJ. So EU, we'll go into GJ after that, AU, and then UJ, and then UCAD. If anything, we'll also talk about Bitcoin as well. So thank you for joining me. All right, so from our analysis from last week, we expected the US dollar to continue to rise. It was actually on a strong rise, and from what happened at the end of the last day of the market, there was a big shift, and I think it was necessary because there was a lot of movement going on, specifically with AU, but then also specifically with the dollar currency in general. But from what I see here, as far as the week right now, obviously this is a brand new week, but what we see here is the fact that there's a large bearish candle that looks to be almost engulfing this one right here. So this may be an indication that the US dollar will probably bounce down to this area right here. I don't know. I'm just making speculation based upon what I see here. The fact that there's a trend line opportunity that I drew from here, and this is based upon this higher time frame. Okay. And if anything, let me draw out my fibs and then see where if anything is, if specifically this area right here, if this is a lower high. So let me put on 38.2, and it technically doesn't get to this area at all. There's like a lot of space, so if anything, I'll draw this down right here. And what we see here is the fact that we see price get to about 50%. And, this is like a neutral area where price could probably even reverse at this area right here. If it breaks through, then cool. But if not, at least we know where price may lead to as far as heading down, and probably into this area right here, which I'm guessing is an area of support. Let's see on the higher time frame. Yeah, so it was a level of resistance over here turned into support over here. So if anything, there's a possibility that I can be able to hit this trend line right here, or if anything, break through it and hit this level of support. But if anything, we'll have to continue to look. Based upon the monthly time frame, what we see, there is some sort of buyer's exhaustion, or just a slowing in the market. Based upon this monthly key level right here, we did see that price tend to slow up around this area, and if anything, it's affecting this area right here, it affected it over here. So if anything, we'll see this over time. It's almost at the end of the month, and probably next month it will react to it a little bit more. So based on this one candle right here, we see that this almost engulfs this. Let's go down to, if anything, let me actually pull out my fibs again, and we'll just go from the top down. So take this one off here. All right. So what we see here from point A, point B, if anything, 50% kind of lines up with this monthly key level right here. And probably 78.6 will line up over here. Let me just add that in so you can see that. Yeah, 78.6 lines up here. I don't see it going straight down that fast, but probably 61.8, bounce off here and then probably break through. Maybe. So let me just take this off here. And at any point in time, if anything, subscribe to this YouTube, because anytime that I actually get on here and do the weekly, look at the market, I'm doing it on a Sunday, Monday for people around the world. So once I send it out, if anything, this is going to be the perspective for mostly the entire week. So the faster that you actually receive this information, the faster you can be able to apply this information. All right, so what we see here is the fact that price is literally sitting on top of this monthly key level. And as we can see, price was being resistant from actually going up to this area, and then finally it broke through, and probably it's now sitting on top of it. For the daily, we still see bullish movement, which is great. So hopefully this will be the end, not hopefully, but if anything, this is probably like the end of this area, and could probably actually break through this trend line now that we're on the lower time frame. So before I had my trend line, I mean my actual fibs over here, right? And I don't think this is actually where the fibs should be laid out. So if anything, I'm gonna do it from here. This is where the market really started to push up. So as you can see here, you know, price wicked this area, and it's wicking this area again. So it probably is where the fibs should be, right? Because it really pushed up here. Let's look on the lower time frame and see how it reacted as far as the fibs over here. So yeah, this is 100%. This is 38.2 over here. So if anything, I think this did create a lower high. I mean a higher low on from point A to point B. It did get to that area. So this is where fibs should be placed right here. This is definitely where fibs should be placed. So point A, you know, like this is the same level right here. So if anything, I'll place it from here, the top up there, and as we can see, price literally just passed that 100%, but it didn't close past it, right? It didn't close past it. So if anything, let's see. I just want to make this as perfect as I can be able to make this, right? So up in this area right here, price gets to this area, so it's 100% retracement, and then from there, price literally stops in midair. It creates a higher high on the 1 hour time frame, right? And literally just stops in midair, and then from there wants to retrace back to this area. So if anything, I guess this is a second opportunity where somebody could be able to actually start probably get a good opportunity when it comes to the market, all right? When it comes to all the other pairs. So I'll look at DXY, because the DXY is literally going to, if anything, affect all the other pairs, all right? So I'm just looking to see how the US dollar is reacting. So let me pull out my fibs from this point right here, and then see where it's at based upon the lower time frames. So it's sitting on top of this 78.6. I see a lot of sellers exhaustion based upon this 1 hour time frame right here. I do see a bullish engulfing candle that engulfs all these other candles right here. So let me look at the lower time frame. Let's look at, if anything, the 30-minute and see. Yeah, it definitely engulfs these as well. The market's pretty slow right now, being the fact that the market just opened up. But I do see price, if anything, continuing this uptrend based upon the 4 hour time frame, because it still kept that uptrend moving. Okay, price did still keep that uptrend moving. So let's move on to gold. All right, so when I looked at gold, what we see here is the fact that price pushed down, right? It was a 4 hour time frame, definitely a low a downtrend, obviously, and for a while price didn't get to actually create any type of lower highs or anything like that. As far as major ones, there's probably like smaller ones here. If anything, yeah. So I guess it was trying to make that right now. Right, it got to about 88.6, and based upon the US dollar getting stronger as far as like pushing up, the gold will actually start pushing down. So let's look on the higher time frame, see how this is looking. We'll go look at the weekly. So based upon this weekly, we see this major trend line that was formed, and I'm pretty sure this is on the monthly. Yeah, as you can see, point A, point B. This is based on the monthly, but point A, point B, and price hit some level of resistance and then literally shot down, really hard, kind of the same way that this one did right here. And let's look at this weekly, and let's see, doesn't fully engulf this area right here, but I wouldn't be surprised that price will probably start looking to either break through this right here, break through this trend line, or if anything, bounce off of it at 38.2. But if anything, based upon our observation when it comes to the DXY continuing its uptrend and actually break this trend line right here based upon the monthly, if anything, the gold will probably break through it the same way that the DXY would break through. So let's look at the EURUSD. Okay, so this one, unfortunately, it hit my stop loss. I had a really tight stop loss, and it broke it by, I think, like 10 pips or something like that, which is cool. If you have proper risk management, I think like it's like, okay, you know, now you have another opportunity that you can be able to actually get into another you know, get in again. So you can be able to put your fibs here, but if anything, the actual breakout happens here. So if anything, I'll actually just put my fibs here, right, down to here. And in my mind, like, once I was looking at this on the lower time frames, I saw price really, you know, pushed far past this area right here. I'm like, oh, did this break structure? But then when it actually closed, I'm like, okay. I guess it just literally wants to hit that area one more time, and if anything, make that drop. So I don't know if you actually saw the recap based upon my episode number 2, but I explained that in this area right here, price is going to have a hard time actually breaking through. I didn't think price was going to have that much of a hard time to break through, because it was literally sitting in this area for about a day, and it was, you know, like going up and down, up and down, up and down. So it's still maintaining its structure on the downtrend based upon the 4-hour time frame, because it only got to 100%, right? And it's literally still there. If price closes past this area, then that changes everything. Where, you know, price may continue its way up towards this monthly, probably towards this level of resistance that it was on from before. But I don't really see price doing that at all. As you can see on the daily, it actually shows this a little bit better. So I see price continuing its way down, down to this monthly. And the true target that I have for EU is still the 1.12, based upon the fact that the H4 time frame still has respected that 100% retracement area, right? So when you actually go into lower time frames, things look kind of different, right? So, you know, price already got to this area. So this is technically the last high. And if I was to take off this fibs right here, this is the only thing that kind of like made me think a little bit like, okay, what is price really doing? If I put my fibs here to here, you know, price got back to close to 61.8, and this is where I got another one of my entries, and it started pushing down. But then this really bullish push happened, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Because essentially on, I guess, the 2-hour time frame, it broke structure. You know, so I was wondering, okay, like what's going on? What's happening? All right. So the 4-hour still maintains its structure. The 2-hour broke structure. So now I'm kind of like waiting, and I'd rather price just break through this area for me to actually get into my long-term type trade back to the 1.12. But I may do some, you know, small trade in between. If it allows me to, if I see, you know, price breaking structure on the lower time frame, you know, there is 84 pips that can be collected over here, you know, from this point to this point. There is still that amount of pips. Let me go to the M30, and, you know, the market just opened. It filled this small area right here, which is, let's see, 12 pips, right? So there is some space that tells me, okay, like price can probably, you know, push down to this area. But I'm kind of hesitant on this, honestly. The H4 time frame takes a little bit more time to actually create something. So let's go to AU. And with AU, we see point A, point B, point C. Price stopped at 61.8. Had a huge push. And what's really cool, one of my students that I'm doing one-on-one with, he actually turned out to get $2,500 in one day, actually, with what we've been talking about with EU and AU and also GJ, which is really, really cool. And then we literally got out right here at the perfect time, and the price started, pushing up real high. So when we were to actually go down to these lower time frames, you could put it based on the H4 time frame, but I think you'll probably see things a little bit more clearly on this lower time frame, like 2 hour, right? And we see price kind of stalling around the 61.8 level, which is a major price reversal zone. So price really pushed down fast and really pushed up fast. So if anything, price could probably continue that push down. On the higher time frames, price is definitely on a downtrend, as you can see. And price did the same thing: pushed down hard, pushed up hard, kind of slow, and then pushed up. And if anything, it's probably just following that same exact routine. But this big bullish candle right here is based upon one day that happened. So if anything, price will probably do something like this, maybe. Right, push down back to that area. So that's still a good amount of pips that could be collected. So as opposed to long-term trades this week, most likely it's going to be short-term intraday trading, based upon continuing the wave in a certain direction. So another 80 pips that could probably be collected on AU. I wouldn't be surprised probably today, as far as the first day in the market this week, probably be kind of slow. But if anything, tomorrow probably pick up. But let's see. So what's the next one? What we have here? So we have GJ, right? So GJ, it's continuing its push up, right? It really slowed down hard. I collected about 130 pips on this push up right here, and then once I saw price pushing down, I didn't really want to focus on GJ too much, so I just closed my order. And now price is getting to this supply and demand zone right here, and we see price literally stopping at 50%. So it had its big push that it needed, right? I don't really know if GJ really needs any more push. The reason why I say that is because it was a strong push to the downside either way, and it literally broke through this trend line. It broke through this trend line and pretty clean. It broke through and also retested. Now it didn't get to 38.2 based upon point A, point B, right over here, point C. Price didn't get to 38.2. So this was the lowest point right here. So point A, point B right here, and now price is in between 50% and 38.2, right at that area where that supply and demand zone has been drawn, and the supply and demand zone is based upon this area right here, right? So if anything, I do see GJ this week probably be my main focus as far as continuing the trend down, and I see GJ having more pips available for me to make pips, more pips available to make pips, but just more of a long-term push where I can be able to actually get pips in between, where price will go from here to here, 323 pips. But if anything, if I was to go towards the extension, if anything, I see price probably getting, I don't know, it may get to this area as far as 137.9, but if anything, definitely at least to this area right here. So about 139 flat will probably be my observation. I really want to write this down. 139 for GJ will probably be my observation for this week. Right now, I like intraday, right, where I get 50, 60, 100 pips. Well, here, 50 to 100 pips. I mean, 30 to 80 pips is cool with me. I just, for my confidence, or for my I did that, when I get the entire swing. When I get the entire swing from where break structure on the lower time frames and literally break structure on the lower time frames on the whole push. Anytime I get that whole push, I'm like, okay, I'm that dude. And when I do intraday, it's cool. I get the push in the market, and I get money from it. which is fine. But I like when I really get the whole move, because that's really what I want to get to as far as long-term trading like that all the time, you know. So that's what I really want to focus on. And then 61.8 will probably be my next one. But ultimately, my main observation is price getting to this area here, like 129 area, 130 area. That's where I see price going. And back to this low right here to about 125. All right, so that's GJ. All right, so if anything this week, I see, you know, the continuation of the downtrend based upon what I see with the day time frame, and then also on the H4 time frame. But definitely, as you can see here on the weekly, like my main observation on GJ is the fact that this is a sell, you know, long term at least. I did get a push up, 130 pips on a push up. Yeah, that's cool. Intraday trade. But as far as long term, I see, you know, I favor the sells for the GJ. So point A, point B, point C in between 50 and 38.2. Go figure the fact that on the H4 time frame, price is in between 50 and 38.2, right at that area where there's an area of supply and demand zone, you know, retesting this area right here. So if anything, it may actually get it's pushed down, but I would look to, on the lowest time frame, get to and if anything, this is actually a really good push right here, where price is definitely getting to this area right here, where there's actually an engulfing pattern right here. And if anything, price actually broke structure maybe on the 15-minute time frame. So this is actually probably a good time to actually get in, and you know, your risk just right here. And if you know, if price continues to go up in that area, then cool. But if you know, price continues to go into this downtrend, you know, I see that as a good push as far as right now. So if anything, let's go to UCAD. I don't really look too much at UCAD, but price, let's go to I already know about this one. Let's go to the daily. So we see this trend line right here, right? We see this trend line right here, and price is literally sitting on top of this area. So I see, as far as this, mind you, I had this based upon, I think it was episode number 1, where it was a push up. I stayed out of UCAD last week completely. You know, I have some friends that made money in UCAD, but it was literally sitting in this area, and on the lower time frames, it broke that trend line. Even though the trend line isn't as strong as structure is, but it broke this area, and I'm like, you know what? It's kind of like acting ugly, and I just don't want to be in that, right? So if price passes this area right here, and continues down push, then you know, it continues down push. But if I see, you know, price continuing to push up, then if anything, I'll probably consider getting back in this. But I don't really see myself touching UCAD, at least right now. I would have to see, you know, strong push to the upside and probably clearing this area for me to feel comfortable to continue that first observation that I had as far as continuing on this upside movement back to that trend line that was drawn. You know, point A was back here, but point A, point B, point C, and into the future, I see price essentially getting to this area right here, but I guess we'll see. And, you know, this is UCAD, so with the US dollar getting stronger, then UCAD gets stronger as well. So I think it all boils down to this, you know, but I guess we'll see as time continues. So let's go to UJ. So UJ was kind of in the same boat, where it's been in this area for like just a long time, and I just haven't really touched UJ too much, based upon the fact that it's actually my monthly key level that was drawn. And anytime that price is in this area right here, I'm kind of like, eh. And as we can see here, price got to about 100%, kind of closed past it. But on the lower time frames, we see a push up, but also there was a push down. So I'm kind of hesitant when it comes to UJ. So if anything, my main focus this week, as far as where I see I can use to make the most money for me, would be GJ in this case. And then once I see the DXY showing me a clear indication, hey, listen, I want to continue my trend on the upside, then cool. If price breaks structure, I think that'll actually give me more of a solid foundation that, hey, I think it's the dollar's actually losing strength and will continue to lose strength if price passes down here, you know. But I guess we'll see as we continue. So this has been episode number 3 of This Week in the Market. We're always going to be here on Sundays. If anything, click on the subscribe button so that you can be able to actually receive more videos like this. And if anything, you know, when you click on the subscribe button, you're actually getting an opportunity to be one of the 5 that are going to be able to get one-on-one time with me for a full day, where we're actually going to get into the markets. We're going to break down the chart together. And you know, you're gonna get all that for free. So all you gotta do is subscribe to be able to get that type of value, and you can be able to be one of the 5. If you don't get it this month, if anything, you'll probably get the next month or the next month. But at the same time, when you subscribe, you're also getting the opportunity to see these videos as soon as they come out. Think about it. Like if I'm doing this at 6 o'clock on a Sunday, and you know it gets uploaded, you know, an hour later, if anything, you can probably apply some of these methods or some of these tips that I'm actually giving you, and you can be able to actually probably make money off of this. Like I said, a friend of mine made $2,500 based upon the information that I gave from last week. And you know, you never know. It could probably help you out as well. So whenever you subscribe, actually click on the alerts button. Once you get the alerts button, when you hit the alerts button, it's actually going to send you a message saying, hey, listen, a new video just popped up on FX Pro. And go ahead and like this video if you receive any type of value at all, but also like it because the way that I do it is if I watch a video, I like it so I don't, you know, so I can remember that I watched this already. And then share this video to somebody else because I'm pretty sure they're also looking to learn how to mark up a chart and, you know, figure out what trends are happening and all this other stuff. So really appreciate your time. And if anything, watch another video. Why? Because from what I've seen, more people feel comfortable and more confident once they actually watch more videos. So watch any of these videos right here, and if anything, I'll see you on the next markup or on the next CVD. So see you soon. Let's become FX Pro now. Let's get it.